Part 24. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 231. So, in the conference room, Fu Nanli received the photo that Wen Qiao thought was a little pretentious, but he felt that the naked photo was seducing him, and his heart was moved. If he hadn't been a person with extremely strong self-control, he would have really wanted to leave his job and go directly to watch her show. He closed his eyes, exhaled, and sent back a message, "It's beautiful. The performance went well." She replied with a cute emoticon. Fu Nanli stretched out his hand and pressed his eyebrows. It was really fatal. Su Shen said, "Captain, can you board the plane?" He responded, "Yeah." After saying that, he stood up, put on the captain's hat, and walked out. Su Shen followed him and said, "The Wang Shan from before was transferred to Luo Hui's team and let her continue flying to Munich." Fu Nanli was too lazy to respond and did not respond. Captain Luo has been really happy lately. Fu Nanli had been with Luo Hui for a month, but he really didn't like the man who flattered him. "First, I was promoted to captain, and second, I heard that I was going to propose to my girlfriend, who is young and beautiful and is a little internet celebrity." Fu Nanli frowned slightly and glanced at him. Su Shen said quickly, "Of course, it can't be compared with Xiao Wen. That little internet celebrity has plastic surgery and an assembly line face. She looks like many female stars. I watched it several times and can't remember her appearance." Su Shen actually saw a bit of pride on his captain's face. Indeed, Xiao Wen's appearance was too embarrassing for his captain. They and Luo Hui's plane flew front and rear. Luo Hui flew to Munich first. The next flight is Fu Nanli's flight to Helsinki. I never expected that the weather would change after I got off the plane. Wen Qiao and the others' performance was very successful. After the performance, Song Yu ran over with a nymphomaniac look on her face. "Wen Qiao, your pipa solo was amazing. I'm really your fan. Take a photo with me." Well, this is coming from the mouth of the school beauty of Yanjian School. Su Lu also came to watch the performance. When she was watching Song Yu playing the piano, she felt sour in her heart, but she thought that her song was already being produced. A song written and composed by her would be released before the year. When the time comes, she will be known as a beautiful woman and a talented woman, so why should she be familiar with such a person? Seeing Song Yu and Wen Qiao taking a group photo, she endured it and did not step forward to find herself uncomfortable. She could bear it, but Zhao Tong couldn't. "What are you so proud of? You really think of yourself as a star and even take a group photo. We also participated in the performance, and we are not like some people who go around making noises." Lu Yuyu sneered, "Yes, you also participated in the show. After all, you have a cousin, but we only have talent." Zhao Tong's hands were shaking with anger. "Lu Yuyu, why are you so mean?" Lu Yuyu shrugged, "You've never heard of the saying that the one who flirts first is a bitch? No matter how bitchy I am, I'm still willing to be the inferior to you." Zhao Tong was so angry that he stamped his feet. Wen Qiao glanced at her. The eldest lady has a short memory. She can't scold or fight, but she is no match for her. She just loves to tease. Su Lu hugged her. "Okay, let's go. We won't be like them." When passing Song Yu, he glared at her. Song Yu's face was filled with grievances, and Wen Qiao patted her on the shoulder. "Let's go have dinner together after it's over." "Okay, okay." The final performer on the field was still Zhuang Yan. Just as Wen Qiao was about to leave, an old man with gray hair walked towards her. She recognized Mr. Zhang Mingde, the principal of Yanjian, who had delivered a speech at the opening ceremony. Classmate Wen Qiao, the principal seemed to have something to say to her. Wen Qiao looked respectful. "Mr. Principal. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me." Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 232. Following the principal to the side, Principal Zhang said with a kind expression, "I watched the performance just now, and it was very much like Mr. Yeshengai. Mr. Yeshengai is a famous contemporary pipa master." Wen Qiao hurriedly said, "Principal, you are overly praised. You dare not compare with Mr. Yet. You have made a lot of efforts for the school's folk music department, and I see it in my eyes. I want to thank you very much." Wen Qiao was a little uneasy. "You are serious? I am just trying my best." Principal Zhang smiled, "I studied Erhu by training. Later, after I took over the position of principal, I didn't do it very well. Although I am the principal, the school has a board of directors. This school is not mine. The members of the board of directors are just we only care about interests and don't care about feelings. We held several meetings and said that we wanted to close the folk music department." An old man and a young man stood at the door of the auditorium. Talking about the past and future of the folk music department, Wen Qiao could feel the helplessness of being swept away by the tide of the times from the old principal. "Fortunately, your generation has begun to realize the beauty of folk music again. I am very happy to see you children fighting for folk music." Wen Qiao listened carefully. "It's just that there is still a long way to go to make society accept folk music, like folk music, and let folk music have a place again. Let's get through this difficult time." Frost fell on the branches. Although the old man was old, his eyes were sincere and bright. Wen Qiao was deeply touched. "Well, if we work together, the difficulties will surely pass, and our country's national quintessence will surely be carried forward again." Saying goodbye to the old principal, Wen Qiao and the others returned to the dormitory. "After washing, I went to bed. Lu Yuyu and Chun Xiao are two night owls. They like to hide in their beds at night to do CP, go to Old Ford and read fan fiction, and their smiles are extremely obscene." Wen Qiao closed his eyes and slept. "Fu Nanli will fly for more than 10 hours and won't land until tomorrow morning." I woke up in the morning, checked my phone, and saw a message from Fu Nanli, "Landed safely, need to rest for a while." Well, have a good sleep. I scrolled through Weibo and saw that the #1 hot search topic was hashtag internet celebrity showing off airplane cockpit hashtag. Because she has a boyfriend who is a captain, Wen Qiao is more sensitive to this kind of news, so she immediately clicked on the hot search. This matter has already become a hot search. The internet celebrity posted this photo on Instagram, and the original post was posted by her. She deleted it, but couldn't hold it back. The marketing account screenshot helped her spread it. Now the whole internet can see the pictures of the airplane cockpit posted by internet celebrities. The most important thing is that based on the brightness of the dial and the closing of various switches, professionals analyzed that the aircraft was in mid-air flight mode when the internet celebrity took this photo. One picture shocked the entire internet. This captain is making fun of the lives of hundreds of people on the plane. Soon the human flesh began, and Wen Qiao followed the melon throughout the process. Netizens are omnipotent, and they quickly found out the name of this internet celebrity, and also found out that her boyfriend was Luo Hui, the captain of Dongchuan Airlines flying from Haikan to Munich. Wen Qiao's eyes suddenly widened. Captain Luo, who was flying from Haikan to Munich, was the one who took over Fu Nanli's flight. He actually took his girlfriend to the cockpit for personal gain. Not only that, he also took his girlfriend to the cockpit while the plane was flying. Let her sit in the driver's seat and pose for the photo. Go crazy. Playing with so many lives? In ancient times, beacon fire plays on princes were nothing more than this. Wen Qiao was a little worried and sent a message to Fu Nanli, "Will Luo Hui's matter affect you?" It was already noon, Haikan was 6 hours ahead of Helsinki, and it was still morning over there. Fu Nanli was the kind of person who could feel refreshed after 3 to 5 hours of sleep. He woke up as soon as the cell phone on the bedside table rang. He was a little confused when he saw the words about Luo Hui. What's up? 4 updates completed. Please vote for recommendation. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 233. When Qiaoan told Fu Nanli what happened in a concise manner, Fu Nanli's face darkened. This incident would not affect him, but it would definitely affect his cousin Ji Xianzheng. In the office of the young director of Dongchuan Airlines, Ji Xianzheng was in a meeting when he received the news. He hurried back to the office and his secretary Sun Qi reported the news online word for word. Ji Xianzheng was so angry that he threw a cup at hand and it broke into pieces. He said angrily, "How old is he? How could he use this method to chase women? Is he crazy? Doesn't he know the aviation system? No, do you know that he alone is responsible for the lives of hundreds of people on the plane?" Sun Qi stood upright. He has always been a person who flatters his superiors and bullies his subordinates. You should not give him this opportunity to be promoted to captain. Ji Xianzheng tugged on his tie irritably. What's the use of saying this now? So Mr. Ji, how should we deal with it now? The online comments are getting more and more intense. Our colleagues are taking the opportunity to attack and fish in troubled waters. They say they want to boycott Dongchuan Airlines. We must respond as soon as possible. Ji Xianzheng stretched out his hand and pressed his eyebrows. First, issue an apology statement, ask Luo Hui to take another plane back immediately, and ask the Public Relations Department to prepare an apology press conference. The aviation authorities' ruling should be coming soon, and it will be announced to the media at the press conference. Sun Qi, will President Ji attend the apology conference? Join. I know, I'll make arrangements right away. Luo Hui from Munich was already as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. Before his position as captain was even warmed up, his prodigal girlfriend ruined it for him. Didn't I tell you? I told you not to post it on social software, why didn't you listen? Well, now I'm done. The internet celebrity girlfriend still looked aggrieved. I posted it on the internet and Instagram, who knew it would be moved to Weibo? Do you really think that no one else is online? I have taken a big risk by letting you into the cockpit and letting you take photos. I have repeatedly emphasized that you must not expose them to the public. You can show the photos to your little sisters in person. Why don't you listen? The little internet celebrity's eyes were red. How could I know so much? Those people were the ones who harmed me and moved my photos here. Besides, nothing happened. Why are they making such a fuss out of a molehill? Luo Hui's cell phone rang. It was called by Mr. Ji's secretary Sun Qi. He was so panicked that when he answered the phone, Sun Qi's cold and ruthless voice rang. Captain Luo immediately took the fastest flight back to Hainan Cheng. Mr. Ji has ordered us to come back immediately. Luo Hui wiped the sweat from his forehead and said cautiously, how will you handle this matter? Sun Qi sneered. Captain Fu was secretly slandered by Captain Luo just for taking his girlfriend on his plane. I thought Captain Luo was well versed in the airline's rules and regulations, but I didn't expect that Captain Luo would have such double standards, actually brought his girlfriend directly into the cockpit. The aviation administration will definitely deal with it impartially. Captain Luo's career is finally over. Before that, come back and apologize to the public. After that, he hung up the phone directly. Luo Hui felt lightheaded and dizzy. In the afternoon, Dongchuan Airlines official Weibo issued an apology statement with an official seal, stating that the captain involved had been fired, and that the aviation authorities' ruling and punishment would be announced at the apology press conference. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 234. Wen Qiao was eating in the cafeteria and felt that this guy named Luo Hui was really a pig because one person had brought trouble to the entire crew and Dongchuan Airlines. It's very harmful. On the side, Zhao Tong, Su Lu Jingxuan and her followers sat next to them with a dinner plate. Zhao Tong's troublemaker persona will always stand tall. He came over and said in a low voice, "Wen Qiao, your boyfriend is also the captain of Dongchuan, so he must have taken you to the cockpit as well, right? You must have been in the driver's seat, right? Can you share it with us?" Wen Qiao swiped his phone and read word for word, "Whoever beats others or intentionally harms others' bodies shall be detained for not less than 5 days but not more than 10 days, and shall also be fined not less than 200 yuan but not more than 500 yuan. Fabricating and disseminating fictitious facts that are enough to demean the personality of others and destroy their reputation is a serious act. Anyone who commits this crime shall be sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment of not more than 3 years, criminal detention, public surveillance, or deprivation of political rights." She put down her phone and glanced at Zhao Tong with a sneer, "I'm not at a loss." Zhao Tong was stunned for a moment and before she could react, she saw Wen Qiao's fist coming over and hitting her on the nose. The nosebleed suddenly flowed out. Zhao Tong screamed, "Wen Qiao, you are crazy." Wen Qiao moved his wrist bones, "It's a crime for me to hit you, and it's a crime for you to spread rumors and slander. You should think about it yourself whether you want to sue me." After saying that, he raised his hand, carried the dinner plate with the three of them in their dormitory, and swaggered past Zhao Tong and the others. "You can slander me. Slandering my captain is not okay." Zhao Tong was in so much pain that he did not dare to touch his nose, and burst into tears, "Lulu, my nose hurts so much. Why is Wen Qiao so mean, picking on people's noses?" Su Lu's nose was not healed yet, and Zhao Tong's nose was slightly fractured. A pair of troubled sisters both put on gauze and put on masks, and they were too embarrassed to see anyone. Zhao Tong's heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys were so angry that he burst into tears and runny nose, "I'm going to sue her. You all saw it? It was she who beat me. In public, with so many pairs of eyes watching, I'm going to sue her, kill her." Follower Jin Xian said cautiously, but Wen Qiao said you were spreading rumors and slander. I don't believe her boyfriend didn't take her to the cockpit. Fu Nanli, the eldest son of the Fu family, must be very willful and do whatever he wants. It is not easy to bring him into the cockpit. He may be doing other shameful things in the cockpit. Su Lu pressed her shoulder, "Zhao Tong, don't be willful. If her boyfriend really doesn't bring her in, if you sue her, it will be like going against the Fu family and slandering Fu Nanli. Have you ever thought about the consequences?" Zhao Tong cried loudly, "Is the sin I have suffered in vain? I am not willing to accept it. Don't worry, I will definitely seek justice for you." Luo Hui returned to Haikan at noon the next day, and Fu Nanli also rushed back. Wen Qiao went to Dongchuan Airlines to wait for him. Seeing him entering the office dusty, he immediately went up to him with a cup of tea, "Thank you for your hard work." Fu Nanli took off his hat and hung it aside, "Aren't there any classes?" "There are no classes in the afternoon. I heard that you are going to hold a press conference. Will you attend?" "I won't participate. It's just that Xian Zheng is worried about something unexpected happening and asked me to come back just in case. This incident makes me afraid to fly on your plane in the future. I'm afraid that you will tell the truth. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me." Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 235. Fu Nanli touched her head, "What nonsense are you talking about? As long as you don't violate the rules and regulations, it's not illegal for you to fly on my plane as an ordinary passenger." Wen Qiao sighed, "Some people with ulterior motives can turn white into black. Don't stop eating because of choking. Okay, Let's go to the press conference. When Wen Qiao and the others rushed there, they saw President Xiaoji, Luo Hui, the co-pilot and all the flight attendants lining up in a row, bowing and apologizing. The reporters below flashed their lights one after another. After bowing for 5 seconds, Ji Xianzheng stood up and sat down in a row with the others. Now let me read the aviation authorities' disciplinary notice on this major flight accident. Ji Xianzheng, vice president of Dongchuan Airlines, was given a major demerit penalty. His management level was reduced from M4 to M3, and he was deducted 3 months of standard performance pay. The captain on duty, Luo Hui, was given a serious demerit, grounded for life, and his pilot license revoked. Wu Rui, the co-pilot on duty, was suspended for 12 months and his technical level was reduced to F1. The stewardess Wang Shan, who had just been transferred to Luo Hui's crew by Fu Nanli, was also unlucky. She was grounded for 12 months and her technical level was downgraded to CA3. Wang Shan felt that she was really unlucky. From beginning to end, she could only say a few words about right and wrong. But in the end, not only was she transferred to Luo Hui's crew, but she was also grounded for a year and her technical level was lowered. It was really hard work these past few years, and I returned to before liberation overnight. She finally discovered that she couldn't offend Mr. Fu's little girlfriend. If she offended that girl, she would be in bad luck. At this press conference, Ji Xianzheng had a very good attitude and did not use public relations means to argue for himself. He did not understand people well and made a big mistake. He just had to admit his mistake to the public. Fu Nanli stood at the end of the group of reporters, looking at Ji Xianzheng, dressed in a black suit, with a stern face, admitting all his mistakes in the face of reporters' tricky questions, and shook his head. Standing by the side was Sun Qi, who said in a very soft voice, taking over Dongchuan, "This is the first time that Mr. Ji has encountered such a serious crisis of trust. He made drastic reforms and went against the current, turning Dongchuan from the bottom into the number 1 in the industry, and successfully listed on Nasdaq. In the end, he fell to such a fool, causing a crisis of trust. It was frustrating to think about it." The press conference finally ended. Ji Xianzheng walked out surrounded by bodyguards, followed closely by Fu Nanli, Wen Qiao and Sun Kai, followed by the crew involved. After leaving the hall, there were no reporters following him in the corridor. Ji Xianzheng took off the tie around his neck and threw it to the ground. Luo Hui followed behind like a grandson, not daring to make a sound. The group went to Ji Xianzhen's office. Luo Hui also wanted to beg for mercy and give him another chance for the sake of his many years in Dongchuan, but he was stopped by Sun Qi at the door. "I advise you not to add fuel to the fire." Luo Hui used to be arrogant in front of Sun Qi, but now he gives up. "Secretary Sun, can you say something nice for me? If you're not the captain, you can work as a ground crew." Sun Qi patted him on the shoulder. "Captain Luo, Dongchuan has not treated you badly after so many years in Dongchuan. You should have saved a lot of money. Let's go home and retire with your little internet celebrity girlfriend." Bang, the office door closed, and Luo Hui's face completely collapsed. He was really hurt by women. In the office, Sun Qi made a cup of coffee and brought it to Ji Xianzheng. Ji Xianzheng sat on the boss's chair, stretched out his hand to press his temples, and glanced at Fu Nanli. "Headache." Fu Nanli sat on the chair in front of his desk. "The matter is now over. It's no use having a headache. Stopping the loss is the most important thing." Ji Xianzheng took a deep breath and took a sip of coffee. "Tell me, how much has the stock fallen? Please vote for recommendations. It will be released in the early morning of the 17th. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 236. Sun Chi slid the tablet in her hand and said expressionlessly, 32.4 yuan fell to 26.8 yuan, and the market value evaporated by 620 million yuan. Ji Xianzheng looked gloomy. This is because Mr. Ji immediately issued an apology statement and apology conference. The industry originally expected that the stock would fall by half, and the market value would evaporate to more than 1.2 billion. Ji Xianzheng lit a cigarette impatiently. Fu Nanli took Wen Qiao's hand and bowed his head. Are you going out first? Wen Qiao whispered, I'm fine. Xiao Ji is already so annoyed, it's okay if she smokes a little second-hand smoke. Sun Chi added, China Southern Airlines took advantage of the situation and started a joke on Weibo. Their official Weibo posted a joke, saying that their company would not let the captain ask a beautiful woman not to work. Although it is cheap, Nanyun Airlines' yuan stock has indeed risen, and some self-media launched a vote to decide which airline to choose in the future, and Nanyun replaced Dongchuan and became the number one. Ji Xianzheng held a cigarette between his fingers and kept pressing his eyebrows. Since he took over Dongchuan, Nanyun has always been the second best. This time, they feel proud and proud. Naturally, they will climb up by stepping on Dongchuan. Fu Nanli said, it is normal for a business to have its ups and downs. This severe punishment will make the public feel at ease. After a while, the storm will be over and things will be fine. After a while, Ji Xianzheng finished smoking the cigarette in his hand. He frowned and lowered his eyes. He didn't know what he was thinking. After a while, he said, Sun Chi, let the people from the Finance Department, Commerce Department, Operations Department, and Public Relations Department come to the meeting. We will hold meetings in the office to formulate marketing strategies for the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, so that they can prepare. Regretting one's own decisions is never something a superior person should do. The established facts have already happened, and all he has to do is to make changes in compliance with the rules. Good. Ji Xianzheng stood up and walked out, saying to Fu Nanli, you just flew back, go back and rest. Is there anything you need me to do? Ji Xianzheng patted him on the shoulder, for such a trivial matter, you, Master Fu, don't need to go into battle. Go back and sleep. As we walked back to Shuying Road from Dongchuan, the warm winter sun followed us all the way. Fu Nanli held Wen Qiao's hand, and Wen Qiao looked at him from time to time, close your eyes and take a rest. He must have been worried since he learned yesterday that Luo Hui had made such a serious mistake. He even flew back and accompanied President Xiao Ji to hold a press conference after returning. He must be very tired after working continuously for such a long time. Fu Nanli's voice was a little hoarse, it's okay. The phone vibrated, and it was sent by Fu Chuan. Fu Zhang also bought a lot of crazy debts, this time it can cause him heavy losses. Fu Nanli raised his eyebrows slightly and responded to the message, you go and deal with it. You need to fly to country M in these 2 days. New. When they arrived at his apartment, Wen Qiao showed him the video of his Christmas Eve solo performance, and Fu Nanli said, send it to my mobile phone. Wen Qiao sent it to him. When are the final exams? The exam will start after New Year's Day. Well, when is the winter vacation? It starts on January 10th. Fu Nanli received the video from her on his mobile phone and saved it in his photo album. He said, fly to Helsinki with me after the holidays. In Finland, you can take a moose car for skiing. On the way, you can go to Iceland to soak in hot springs and watch the aurora. Wen Qiao shook his head, I won't go. Fu Nanli squinted at her, why? You are on the cusp of the storm in Dongchuan. I am afraid that I will bring criticism to you if I fly on your plane. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 237. Fu Nanli pinched her face and said, "You are an ordinary passenger and you will not bring any criticism to me. Don't be afraid of 10,000, just be afraid of the worst." Obedient. Wen Qiao thought deeply, well, that's okay. When Fu Nanli flew to Country M to deal with the mini-bond and subprime crisis, Wen Qiao was taking the final exam. Lu Yuyu and Chun Xiao, two people who were usually addicted to CP, panicked during the final exam and started cramming and reading day and night. The final exam is divided into cultural courses and professional courses. Each professional course exam is taken individually. The invigilators are two deans, one is the conductor Dean Qin Feng, and the other is the composer Vice Dean Yu Sen. Wen Qiao and Lin Xiang were calm and relaxed. Whether it was cultural classes or professional classes, they were all in order. The 2.5 days of final exams were finally over. Lu Yuyu and Chun Xiao walked out arm in arm and both breathed a sigh of relief. Wen Qiao rubbed Lu Yuyu's head. "How did you do in the exam?" Lu Yuyu hung on Wen Qiao. "I think there should be no need to make up the exam. Is this all you want to pursue?" "That's all for pursuing it. They can take professional courses, but Lu Yuyu feels a little unsure about cultural courses." But fortunately, the final exam was over and she could finally have fun. She hugged Wen Qiao's neck and said, "My idol's concert is on the 16th of the 12th lunar month. You must go to see it with me." Wen Qiao made an okay gesture. Lu Yuyu pretended to kiss her, but Wen Qiao pushed her away. Lu Yuyu's drama possessed her. "I can't even kiss her anymore, right? It's someone's exclusive, right?" Wen Qiao rubbed her head. "You don't even dare to kiss me." Lu Yuyu shrank her neck. She didn't dare to compete with young Master Fu. Forget it, she wouldn't be embarrassed if she lost to young Master Fu. They met on a narrow road, and met the noble sisters Zhao Tong, Su Lu, Jingxuan, and Wen Qiao, whose name I couldn't name. Su Lu's nose was healed, and the plaster was removed. It seemed that it was raised a little, which gave her a chance to have her face reshaped. Zhao Tong was still wearing a plaster and a mask. When he saw the culprit, Wen Qiao, he couldn't help but get angry. "Wen Qiao." As soon as Wen Qiao raised his hand, Zhao Tong was so scared that he hid behind Su Lu. "I didn't say anything now. If you dare to hit me, I will sue you." Wen Qiao stroked his hair. "I just stroked my hair, what are you feeling guilty about?" People passing by laughed mercilessly. Zhao Tong pointed at her angrily. "Wen Qiao, what are you proud of? You don't have a share in the scholarship anyway. I've done the math. The first-class scholarship belongs to Zhuang Yan, the second-class scholarship belongs to Su Lu, and the third-class scholarship belongs to me." Lu Yuyu couldn't help but laugh out loud. "Which goddess helped you figure it out, or did your cousin open the back door for you? How can you be so sure? You are the first person in history to use the back door so openly." People. "Lu Yuyu, you are spitting blood, we all rely on strength, strength." Wen Qiao held her shoulders. "I will also book the first-class scholarship based on my strength." Zhao Tong sneered, "You are dreaming." Wen Qiao's academic performance in the college entrance examination was average. At that time, she had not yet been reborn. She was brainwashed by Su Lu and wanted to sing in a bar, so she had no intention of focusing on her homework. Even so, she was successfully admitted to Yanjian. Now, she has no distractions and is making rapid progress in her homework. It's just that Zhao Tong doesn't know. Then, let's wait and see. Zhao Tong looked at Wen Qiao's back and shouted unconvincingly, "As long as you eat peanuts, you won't get so drunk and talk such big words." Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 238. Lu Yuyu whispered, "Qiao Qiao, can you really win the first-class scholarship?" Wen Qiao made an okay gesture. "No problem. Juanyan is very strong. I'm also very strong, don't panic about small things. After leaving the teaching building, Lu Yuyu asked Lin Xiang and Chun Xiao, when will you go home? These two people are from Hangzhou, which is also very close to Haikan. It takes an hour to get home by train. Lin Xiang, I'll go back tomorrow, but we can still meet during the winter vacation. If it snows, you can come to Lingyan Temple. It's very beautiful and you can shoot ancient videos. Okay, let's make an appointment then. Chun Xiao, let's go see Brother Fan's concert together then. Lu Yuyu, no problem. He Qian's brother He Kong is a well-known playboy in Haikan. He often promotes a concept to his fair-weather friends, that is, wealth is always in the hands of a few people. He highly praised risky debts and felt that poor people did not dare to buy them, so they could not make a fortune. This kind of wealth was used to make money for rich people like them. After drinking a lot of wine, He Kong took two beautiful young models back to his room in the club. While he was doing some exercise, his secretary called, and he pressed it down angrily. I wonder what the hell he was doing now. The phone call came again, with quite a perseverance. Finally, he couldn't stand it anymore, stood up, and answered the phone. You'd better have something urgent, or you'll be doomed. Master, it's not good. I'm company has been exposed to the subprime mortgage crisis, which will largely affect the batch of mini bonds you purchased in large quantities. The two young models came up and said, Young master keep playing. He Kong pushed away the two women beside him, Gun, get out of here. The two young models saw the sinister look on his face and quickly picked up the clothes on the ground and ran away in a panic. He Kong gritted his teeth and said, How can a company as big as I'm be in a subprime mortgage crisis? But that's what the report said. The bonds we bought turned into a pile of waste paper. He Kong panicked, Come here immediately, I'm in the club room. He Kong's secretary came over soon, covered in sweat, and kept showing him waves of breaking news on the internet, which shocked He Kong to the point of breaking out in a cold sweat. He even misappropriated a lot of the group's funds behind his mother's back. If this money was lost, the foundation of their family business would be affected by him. Is there any remedy? The secretary kept wiping his sweat. It's a foregone conclusion. He Kong kicked the secretary in the chest. Why didn't you find out earlier? Master, this wave of subprime mortgage crisis is so dangerous. We have no idea about it and there is no way to prevent it. He Kong was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. Find someone to save the market, find someone to save I'm. If I'm has room for improvement, my losses can be compensated. Master, who can I find? Fu Nanli. Ah. Our family doesn't have much friendship with the Fu family. He owns a team in Country M, and I heard that he has friendships with many wealthy people in Country M. He must be able to do something about it. Our He Chien also worked under him before, so she must still miss some of the old friendship. He will definitely be able to help me contact the person who stopped the subprime mortgage crisis. When Fu Nanli received the news from Fu Chuan, he and Wen Qiao were having dinner in a private room next to the Xiaotangshan hot spring pool. Mr. Fu's life creed, if you let my kid catch a cold or have a fever, I'll make you lose hundreds of millions. Please vote for recommendation. The ranking has been slipping a bit these days. There should be an update of 50,000 words on the 17th. Please support me. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 239. There is also a Christmas tree decorated for Christmas outside, and the lights are twinkling, reflecting the hot spring water, which is warm and quiet. The phone vibrated. Fu Chuan, young master, he is in a hurry to go to the doctor. I want to ask for your help. Fu Nanli knocked his eyelid slightly, his eyes were cold, and he replied a message, just deal with him casually. Fu Chuan, got it? When Fu Chuan first received He Kong's call for help, he really couldn't laugh or cry. He probably didn't know that the subprime mortgage crisis was planned by Fu Nanli, so how could he turn to help him? Fu Nanli put down his phone and looked at the person opposite who was quietly eating steak. How did you do in the final exam? Pretty good. There is a reward for doing well in the exam. Wen Qiao's heart skipped a beat. Can I not? No. No need, I took the exam for myself, how can I ask for a reward? There was another gathering in Xiaotangshan a year ago, and it was still those people. Wen Qiao nodded, okay, I really don't need gifts, don't prepare them for me. The Hope Primary School she gave him has almost been contacted, and finally spent the money again, so he can no longer receive gifts. Fu Nanli smiled, but did not speak. Wen Qiao felt uneasy, and wondered if he had listened. The He family, the sky is falling, and He Kong has invested a few $100 million in it, and lost all of it. The most important thing is that he embezzled the family's funds. If he can't fill this hole in time, there will definitely be problems in the family group's capital chain. His younger sister, He Qian, finally found her. When He Qian learned that her brother was such a prodigal, she was so angry that the eldest lady couldn't care about her face, so she taught He Kong a lesson. He Kong, what's the matter with you? You play investment as long as you play investment. How can you use your family's funds behind your mother's back? He Kong's hair was messed up, and his face was full of mental and physical exhaustion. If I knew the consequences, would I still do it? You don't want to teach others. Even if you scold me to death, it won't help. Think of a way. He Qian was so angry that she threw her bag on him. Find out your own way, go home and kneel in front of your mother, and repent. He Kong scratched his hair in distress. I wondered if I had offended someone. That person seemed to be aiming at me. I was the biggest buyer of this batch of illicit debts. Didn't they come for me to pay back? What could it be? He Qian had a flash of inspiration, and her heart suddenly tugged. Is it for her brother, or for her? Who has such great ability? Is such a big company. If the subprime crisis occurs, the subprime crisis will occur, and his brother lost all his money. Who the hell is warning them? He Qian couldn't help being cold all over, because the only person she could think of was Fu Nanli. It happened by such a coincidence that after she arranged for Wen Qiao to meet his mother, she heard that Wen Qiao had fled in a small dress against the heavy snow. So Fu Nanli was taking revenge on Wen Qiao for her? She felt that things were a bit confusing. Did Fu Nanli know that Wen Qiao was a liar? She walked out of her brother's villa with a blank mind, dialed the phone, and got connected there. It was a familiar sexy voice that could make her heart sink as soon as she spoke. Hey. Sitting in the car, He Qian resisted the pain in her heart and said, Captain, it's me. Who? It will always be like this. He doesn't see her in his eyes, he will never remember her, her name, or her voice. All her efforts seem to be a big joke. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 240. I'm He Qian. What's up? My brother's business was done by you, right? An indifferent sneer came from the other side. Miss He, pay attention to your words, my lawyer is not easy to mess with. He Qian finally couldn't help it, and lost control of her emotions. Fu Nanli, you should already know that Wen Qiao is a liar, don't you? There was silence, no response at all. With red eyes, He Qian said, otherwise, why didn't you let her meet your mother and your grandma? So it was indeed you who designed to trick her into going to Xiaotangshan. Statements, not questions. He Qian was frank, so what if it's me? Fu Nanli raised his eyebrows slightly, it's not that good, it made your he family lose hundreds of millions and you feel that it's cheap for you. It's nothing important and I'll hang up. He Qian's voice was hysterical. Fu Nanli, do you know that Wen Qiao is really a liar? She is not your girlfriend at all, she lied to you from the very beginning. Can you open your eyes and see, who is the one who really treats you well? The voice on the phone seemed to be colder than the deep winter. I said she is my girlfriend, then she is my girlfriend. I hope you don't get involved in other people's family affairs, so you can take care of yourself. The phone was mercilessly pinched over there. He Qian collapsed, lying on the steering wheel and weeping bitterly. Why does Fu Nanli trust a liar so much? Is he really going to be a fool? Aren't you afraid that Wen Qiao has evil intentions and covets the Fu family's property? Just because she planned Wen Qiao to go to see his mother and let her freeze for a while, he spent a lot of time planning their he family, causing their he family to suffer heavy losses. Fu Nanli is such a lunatic. After Fu Nanli settled the he family easily, his mother gave him another job. There is an island on the south coast, surrounded by the sea, with mountains in the distance. It is in the far south, and the climate is suitable. Ye Mingkai wants to develop that island, so let him go to investigate first. It will take some time. Fu Nanli then told Wen Qiao. When Wen Qiao heard that he was going to leave for a while, she thumped in her heart, about how many days? Some questions flashed through Fu Nanli's mind. After contacting her and getting to know her better, he realized that Qiao was not clingy. Her clinginess is only concrete at certain moments. For example, he will be away from her for a long time. She is not only clingy, but also has an abnormal sense of panic. About 10 days. Wen Qiao frowned deeply. Will it take so long? Huh? What's the matter? Can't we leave for 10 days? Then can you give me the address? If I miss you, I'll go find you. Fu Nanli was a little confused in his mind, but he still responded, okay, I'll send it to you later. Wen Qiao received the specific address and checked it out. It was an isolated island. After taking a plane to Nanban City, she had to take a boat to the island. I just hope that Fu Nanli can come back on time. Before Fu Nanli got on the plane, he called Su Shen, tune up my flight record for this year and send it to my mobile phone. Good Captain. After getting off the plane, he had already received a flight record from Su Shen on his mobile phone. The first time she fainted, he just flew back from Munich and received a call from the hospital at the airport. He slid his fingers lightly on the screen, looking at the dates and numbers on it. The second time she took the initiative to find Xiao Chang, Lu Yuyu said that she fell asleep, or rather, fainted.